Tune into Reflection of Life, the podcast channel catered to the millennials of our generation. Be sure to follow my Instagram page, and the link is as below. Welcome to Reflection of Life. So my name is Lisa. So today we are hosting another session with these two gentlemen. So do you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah. My name is Wilson Wibamanto,
And I'm Rene Liew.
and we're from Pair of Dice board game community.
So I actually managed to bump onto Wilson and also Rene from the Pair of Dice, which is in a board game community, which caught my interest of trying to speak to them for today. And I just wanted to know a little bit about the background of your board game community. Do you want to describe why does it rhyme as paradise turning into pair of dice?
Yeah, we started out as we meet each other on a different meetup. This was called Coffee and
Coffee and
Chat,
Chats.
and we hang out there doing separate activities. You name it, the socializing, the pickleball, what I call it, cycling.
Cycling as well,
and
yeah.
a bunch of walks, if I'm not mistaken.
Plenty
and
of
one of
activity.
it is also board games. And time as goes by, I think I just have a little bit of fluke or like inspiration that you know what, I think I wanted to organize something for that particular community, and so I just think of it what I can do best, and I just think of it maybe board games for me in the first place. So I contacted him and whether he wants to run a co-host together for the board game session in that particular meetup. And yeah, we actually have our chance to just host them one time in one of the weekends. And we thought we just simply just like get 15 people, and which we did.
Yeah.
And
A lot.
yeah, I just feel like we all had fun. We just hang out in the McDonald's station. We just found that once available, that's 24 hours. Only to realize we can play all night long right over there.
Yeah.
How many hours is that?
Like 6-8 hours, all the way to 3 a.m. all the way.
Because one time Wilson tagged me, he was like suggesting me to go and meet new friends by socializing in the board game as well. And then I found like this is very interactive and it's fun to actually play different types of board games. At the same time, they also stationed a few friends to help out each other as well throughout the session as well. I think
Correct.
they're called game masters. At one point of time, I started to think about like how do people actually have that passion to start a community without at first thinking about the profit wise, then only eventually develop into something in a bigger mission and an objective. So I have a few questions for you, which I prepared just in case. Of course, definitely in terms of all the community that we built in, I believe that we built with passion and we also built it with interest as well.
Correct.
So back to one of the episode that I have built up for this particular channel, which is Reflection of Life. The reason why this channel was being established was due to certain realization of there's something that I would like to reflect on, and I believe that the generation of my time, which is the millennials, we too actually have things to share about, even though we are too shy to share about it, or perhaps we do share among our friends and so forth. So when it comes to like particularly passion, so my first question was, does this actually was translated from passion, or this is just plainly just came from a mutual interest that you just kind of like vibe together just to start to do a kickstart?
I must admit that it's actually just a mutual interest that we actually both did for this particular activity. In my honesty, I could have done anything. I also organized back then food sessions, similar to like Time Life concept where I invited 12 people together. But I think I just decided to stick with board games first just because it gains the most audience. And I feel like me and him can work well together on this. And as time goes by right over there, it goes from 15 to 20 to 25 people. I lost count, honestly. So,
It's too many.
yeah.
I find it very interesting because I think the first time when you mentioned to me about this community, within 2 months you were able to expand to a very interesting amount. Like for example, from 2-digit itself has started to a 400 plus followers.
Correct.
So like everyone, if you're interested in playing board games, you should actually follow Piece of Dice BGC in Instagram.
Pair of
I
Dice.
think
Pair of Dice.
Paradise. Sorry to correct it. I think they are also available in TikTok. They are also available in another platform, which is
Instagram mostly that we use. We're also available on Threads.
Facebook?
Facebook, right?
Facebook as well, yeah.
yeah. So that's the reason why I was like, I think it's a high time that I really sit down and talk to passionate people who comes from mutual interest, because I believe that people who started with mutual interest, they really did it with determination and diligence. And sometimes it comes to concern or monetary wise, sponsorship, people funded you to have their place to do activities and so forth. So do you want to share about like what are the challenges by far that you have faced during getting all the places, the people and also resources?
Okay, so about the challenges of it all. So initially, again, let's start that. We didn't even thought of having to expand this community on Instagram audience.
True.
We always base it on Meetup audience itself. We host it for free, like once a month, back and forth. I think it's just doing a discussion. One time I was with him, and you know what? I think we need to introduce ourselves, our community, to new, fresh faces,
Yeah.
and that's how we started the Instagram to begin with. And the name of it all is All Fresh Start. Yeah.
Surprisingly, it rhymes. I just only realized.
Correct. Yeah, I also kind of read, but I gotta thank you to him. He has a bunch of different ideas.
I was giving him all the ideas. So Pair of Dice, like what else did I give you? Remember?
Oh, honestly, I can't even repeat it, but I feel like okay, Pair of Dice. Thank God we stick. To
Yeah,
that.
somehow
I
we
think
got it
something
there.
about analysis paralysis.
Yeah, analysis
I think about,
paralysis.
something about an MLM naming. Multi-level.
Multi-level
I'm
meeples.
surprised.
Yeah.
MLM.
But then
Lots of-
again, I want to get. I don't want to get into that. to
Lots of
begin
different
with,
names,
so,
yeah.
but thank God we stick with Paradise. But yeah, back again to the challenges. So yeah, as we figured it out, right? We initially thought. Now, introducing the community to the first time, we thought gaining the participants would be very hard because then again, there are already a lot of existing board game communities out there and they offer it for free. There are board games cafes, and especially in this particular area around Tataling Jaya, I thought the competition is just like, okay, it's already there, and what makes us so different? And then I realized when we started hosting our paid session, I think we needed to stand out ourselves. I'm taking my experience from Meetup, right? So what we wanted is to a little bit have more engagement. We want more interactivity. Now, if I were to look at different board game cafes like Board or Meeples, I mean, kudos to them, but I think they lack on having to provide that particular interaction to help people to get started on what board game is about. They pretty much ask you to, pay up, and then they'll
Yeah.
provide you a table. There's a lot of unlimited collections board game right over there. But honestly, they're just gonna leave you right to it. They'll probably teach you once, and
Exactly.
then that's it.
Yeah, like you
And-
said, there's no guidance for all the newbies. So we want to create a community where we can teach them, we can guide them, and they can feel welcome. So I think that's what we're trying to set apart from other board game communities. A
That's
welcoming community. Yeah.
That's interesting because when as a newbie myself, like I did play board games, but I'm not really an expert in it. But as a person who wanted to learn new stuff, having someone to guide us to play the board games step by step and to see how it actually works out, how the gameplay begins and it ends. So it somehow gave you that kind of insight, like, oh, so this is how the gameplay works. Oh, this is the nature of
Yes.
the game and the level of difficulty that's been stationed. And I would like to point out that they actually did manage to put all the communities into a very specific sense of belonging because they know their level of difficulties. So like they have a light game, intermediate kind of game base, and finally the more strategic and the advanced wise.
Correct.
So I have one question for you. So just now we were talking about the community building wise. How do you define community when having people show up to play?
Interesting question. So, what really defines us as a community to begin with? I mean, there are various of different groups out there, and there are different various of meanings of how they define communities. I think for us specifically, it's just pretty much to help people who are interested in board games to get out there than their usual private gatherings. So, I mean, board games relatively is still sort of a hobby where you do it for your own private groups, and to know for them, it's still okay. You wanted to play with the people that you're familiar with and whatsoever. But I think how we both relate, right? Once we started that board game session as we hosting, we find it always difficult to find the people that are available that wanted to come to you to play along and to spare some time with you. And yeah, and it sucks, of course. So because you can't exactly play board games just for one people or two people, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, there are various of board games out there. There are solo modes or
Yeah.
two-player modes whatsoever. But come on, the more the merrier is always the fun, right?
Yeah, the more the merrier is always bringing the interaction and also the fun behind those
Yeah.
board games. What about Reem? What's your opinion about it?
I think, like he said, community is where we feel like we can all play together. So like we're trying to build a community where people can come in regularly to play board games, where they can find, oh, we have similar passion, we like the vibe, we like the energy, we like to play the games that we want to play. And it's because like the community that we had before was not really focused on board games. Like they want to do activities, they'll come for board games, but from time to time, you know what I mean? So currently our focus is to create a community where board games is their main focus, and we can hang out with like-minded individuals who wants to play board games as the main thing. So we're trying to find more like-minded people as well, yeah.
I think being like-minded is essential, especially when it comes to community, especially when it comes to realizing that there are a lot of meetups, people come and go, and that's the reality of having a community plus meetup.
Yeah.
So in order to build that kind of like people with like-mindedness and also similar mutual interests, it takes a lot of effort and also a lot of catch-ups to handle. I believe that it is also something that is you are still in the middle of adjusting as well because
Yeah.
it is slowly expanding. It's
Correct,
not suddenly
correct.
exponentially. So now I have one more question for you that is like for someone who has never touched any board game before this. Okay,
Yeah.
I'm literally a newbie like myself. So what's the first experience like walking into your space, especially when you want to introduce them a new board game?
For newbies or ones who haven't touched board games. One thing for sure, we definitely have one thing in mind to introduce to them that board games is not just monopolies and Uno.
Yeah. Trying to bring them out from that
No,
perception.
we all grew up with monopolies and Unos. We know
Tell
well.
me about
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, me personally, I think it's still okay, but time has gone by, and there are a lot of great
There's-
creative designs out there. Like the board game world is very vast,
Exact.
and there's so many things that you can play.
So many
other
games to
than
try
those
out.
two.
I do notice that playing games brings people together, and that's the interesting part. And it also brings people out of their comfort zone. Doesn't matter swimming, it doesn't matter a pickleball game session, or maybe just a simple outing just to find food and so forth. And that makes people so special in different ways. Now, back into another question whereby if, let's say, the pair of dice keeps growing the way you hope, how do you see that in 5 years' time?
Oh,
Oh.
fire. Good question. Very good question.
You wanna start first?
Yeah,
or-
sure. I think in 5 years we would like to see it grow into a big community of people where we have different game masters and different people from all kinds of life to come and play together with us, and we'll host in cafes from time to time in different areas. So our goal is like to make sure that we can jump from PJ to Chiras to Subang each month, and to have different people of all kinds of life, different people from all different places to just hang out, just chill around and have a place, a community. And hopefully in the future, in 5 years' time, we would have a very stable community in which we have lots of regulars and followers as well who can just come in and play whenever they want. So that's our long-term goal, I guess. How about you? Do you agree?
Well, I mean, I still stick to that. That's our main priority for now. Other people would think like start a board game cafe or board game convention, but I don't think we're reached to that level yet. Yeah, but I think the number one thing is always having to provide a sort of community that welcomes them, because there are still many people that are not into the board game world of it all, and we want them to feel welcome. We want them to feel like they can actually have fun and learn all the basics and all that stuff. Yeah. I think for the priority right now is just to have them engage on our community to ensure that they feel welcome, that we're
Yeah.
all friendly enough to welcome one another.
Yes.
No rush, just vibes. That's my way. Let the whole way today. No rush, just vibes. Feel alright. Staying in this mood tonight.
All right, so we are back again to Reflection of Life. So now we are going to continue to another session. Look at us, we are now in a very new background. Yeah, we are, but it's okay. That's the fun part about being interviewed in a different scene. But then again, I have one more question for you guys. But speaking about you are going to expand a group in 5 years' time, remember?
Yep.
So here's another comeback question was how would you balance keeping seasoned gamers engaged while making newcomers feel welcome so that they don't get intimidated?
How do you balance it?
I mean, I think we're still kind of figuring that out, to be honest. Now, board gamers, the number one thing is that what kind of board games that they want to play. Surely people can get bored over time over the games that they play over and over. And second of all, maybe they might have met some people that they wanted to play with over and over. But the number one thing that I'll always prioritize that we're still a community that we need to still be open-minded to welcome new players on the run. So maybe along the way we'll piece a table just for the regular ongoers. But I want them to at least still feel welcome for other new players because again, a community cannot sustain itself if they not welcoming new people all the time entering and exactly.
So I think in the end we still want to host casual games so that new people can always join and feel welcome. So one table will definitely always be for new gamers. I feel like that's our long-term plan as well. Just to make sure that one table is always, no matter what game we play, anyone can just come in, learn the rules fast to feel welcome. While the seasonal players can also play with our regular board game hosts as well. So that's two. We have a balance of both.
I think that's quite balanced and also it is quite well analyzed in terms of like who are these players that are present in your community. I have one more question to ask you related to board games. Since you have been already introducing so many types of board games to all newcomers and also seasoned players, which are the board games that you like the most from Wilson and Rene yourself?
Let's go.
I never get a quite definite answer for this because board games is too vast and it offers a different genre. But if I want to say like what's my favorite board game right now, I would say Harmonies. I mean, I played that with you. You've seen how beautiful the pieces are.
It is so beautiful. I never thought that it's like a circle of life. Tell me about it.
And the good thing is it kind of balances out. There are some strategies into it which you kind of have to think a little bit harder, but it's not so well complex that it's impossible to play like on one go. I think I can explain to you under like 20 minutes and okay, fine. And now I get it in that sense. Other stuff, board games, I'm trying to explore a bit more heavier side of things. So one of the game masters, Edison, actually introduced me to Age of Steam. And even though I have a little bit of difficulty right over there, but I still managed to play it well. And it's actually, now I kind of get the liking of Age of Steam to begin with, and I can't wait to play that again.
That's good to know. And what about Rene?
All my favorite games are all social, where everyone gets to talk to each other. So my top favorite game is I always tell him it's Chinatown.
Chinatown. What is it about? There are so many types of Chinatown from the US, from Vietnam now back to Malaysia.
Chinatown is like you are all pretending to be Chinamen in the US.
Oh, are you serious? Is this like Secret Hitler?
No. So this is more like a trading game where we all try to build our own businesses. But at the same time, we're all trying to trade with each other constantly on resources. So I could say like, I'll give you $500, you give me your property. I can say you trade your property for my property. So it's a constant engagement. We're trying to trade with each other. And so far, everyone I played with said they enjoy it because it's a game where you don't just play, but you're trying to communicate and trying to trade and trying to haggle with everyone. So everyone feels like they feel like they are being part of a community, they're constantly talking with one another, there's constant engagement, and that's what I want board games to be, where you get to talk with each other. So Chinatown always will be my top one priority.
As for myself, I actually prefer board games that has a little mixture of social deduction. Of course, I'm not a great liar, but I like games that's related to a little bit of investigation and also a bit of language, wordplay, plus colors. So those are the board game simulation that I really like the most. Of course, we play traditional chess, Chinese chess, and so forth, but those are the fundamental things that we used to play on a board game. But then again, to see different diversities of board games that involves all kinds of genre, I think that is really good. Like, let's say if you are going to introduce the board game to specific individual, from the beginners to an advanced players, what kind of board games would you recommend?
I mean, take an example from our previous session, right? Us both as the game masters, we're in charge of the more lighter and party games, while the other game masters there handles the more heavy and strategic kind. So in that particular scenario where we want to welcome people who never played board games before, so I think I pretty much really showcase all the party games that's worth knowing. Like for you, it's Secret Hitler, it's Code Names, it's Hughes and Cues. I think you're familiar with that in one of our
Yes,
sessions
yes,
as well.
definitely, definitely.
So yeah, it just goes to show that the thing about board games, right? It can have a different kind of idea of how to have fun. Like take from everyday life elements, whether it's about figuring out colors in items right over here,
Yeah,
or
yeah.
testing your English linguistic skills. Or basically practice, how social, reading people on their body language. That's how you figure out a Secret Hitler.
I
Right?
think that's the interesting part, who to detect who is the mafia, who is the communist.
So I think what I'm trying to say is, right, I wanted to list out the particular important factor that you can actually get from having to attend these board game sessions. You'll learn the game, that you'll actually practice the different kinds of areas of skills that maybe sort of suits in your everyday life. Yeah.
That sounds practical. Let's go back to related to players, right? So, like when you are dealing with different types of players, what are the main challenges for you to get that balance?
Honestly, this is of what we also kind of realized, right? Since we're trying to stand out compared to the other board game communities, we're trying to categorize them in the levels of experience of board games and what level of preference they would want to
Interesting.
get from this session. It's just that I don't think we still have a clear answer on understanding what kind of board games that they wanted to partake in. So
It's easy to categorize them based on easy gamers and hard gamers. But further than that, they might say like, oh, I don't like this game because it's too wordy, or they'll say like it's too hard to understand. Some of them might prefer like a color game, or they might want a word game, or they want a reading game. So I think it all depends on the individual, but we're trying to balance it out, right?
True also, because like when it comes to reading humans, like try to understand certain different characters, it takes time.
Yes.
It takes a lot of effort. Again, it takes a lot of boundaries to step in and to manage the whole community altogether. So I have one last question for you. That is, overall, do you find any sense of fulfillment after making this community, and why?
definitely.
Oh, that's good to know.
Right. So, taking from my own life experience, right, I started having to, in this meetup journey, to meet new people and interact, newcomers all around. This is not related to board games. It's simply just everyday life, trying to socialize and expand my social life. Yeah. Coming from, to be clear, I'm a foreigner. So I'm not exactly Malaysian.
You just really just don't look like foreigners on the first sight.
And it's during one of my early times, and I just kind of promised myself that I want to get out there and meet new people out there. Just try to find myself in an opportunity to try to befriend people in this new life experiences and phase. And since I've gone that particular meetup journey for a very long time, I feel like I got the confidence right now to start hosting. Which I wanted to make a new environment, and like I said, it's a community for people to feel welcome, so they don't feel like at a loss. A place of belonging, so they can gather upon this familiar interest of ours. And again, it could have been anything. It could have been board games, it could have been food, pickleball, anything. And my friend here, Rene, is also posting his pickleball community as well. So.
Oh, it seems like we did have some very good, similar of mutual interests.
Yeah, so for me, like I host board games. It feels very fulfilling because like I'm teaching beginners how to play, and they're slowly getting into the hobby. They're learning from scratch, like you, and they enjoy the process, right? They say like, oh, I never heard of this board game before, and say, oh, I want to buy this board game. So like, if there's a sense of fulfillment of teaching them new board games, introducing them to a whole new world of European board games, because all they know so far is like Monopoly and Risk.
True, it's like Monopoly, Uno, Carom, and all this kind of
That's
stuff.
all the most common board games that people know about.
And Bagamon.
Exactly. So it's really like a sense of joy and fulfillment to let other people know about all these existing board games. Yeah.
This is the one part that I really truly feel glad that I'm interviewing you guys, because one part of my understanding about a board game community, it can be any sports, outdoor sports, indoor sports, or a very simple board game. It shows mutual interest and like-minded people standing together to make things work out and to bring fun and interaction at the everyday basis. So do you have any last words?
Stay tuned for our upcoming sessions for next month.
Yeah. Follow us, and we will update you on
Do follow them in Instagram, TikTok, and Threads.
threads. Yes, correct.
Thank you so much for joining in. I really appreciate your time. So I hope to see you again in the next board game session. We'll see you again in Spotify. So do subscribe us in Reflection of Life, and subscribe Pair of Dice. Pair of Dice, forgive me. Pair of Dice, to get more updates and episodes and also community activities. Thank you so much. Bye.
Thank you.